The Conservative MPs, Jacob Rees Mogg and Ken Clarke. Jacob Rees Mogg first. Good evening to you both. But to you, Jacob Rees Mogg, last night, Theresa May won applause in the EU. Would you be applauding her tonight?
Oh, I'm always applauding Mrs May. I think she is an excellent Prime Minister, giving very clear leadership over Brexit. So
how happy are you that you're actually going to be in the EU with all its structures and its constraints and its laws until 2021?
Well, as I understand it, that is the position set out by the European Union, and it's not law that this is the beginning of a negotiation. The EU has said that its intention is that in the transition period we will be bound by the single market, the European Court and the acquis. The British government hasn't accepted that, and to my mind would be very unwise to accept it.
It did seem very much like Theresa May had accepted that. Are you suggesting then that actually this is all up for grabs still?
This is simply, I've got here the statement issued by the European Union. This is issued by the 27 member states. It has not been agreed, as far as I'm aware, by the British government. And it would be a ridiculous position to be in.
So wait a minute. So you're suggesting, can I just be quite clear here? Coming away from Brussels last night, it was clear that Theresa May, not you, Theresa May thinks that actually in the transition period we're going to have to not make EU laws, we're going to have to accept the 4 freedoms and live by the European Court.
Well, that would mean we were staying within the European Union for an extra 2 years, which is not the Prime Minister's position. The Prime Minister has consistently said that she is in favour of an implementation, which means we leave in March 2019 and that the consequences of leaving are implemented. The transition, which the EU is offering, it means that we're still effectively in the European Union for the following 2 years. We cannot accept the senior law of the United Kingdom comes from the European Union when we are outside it and no longer have a judge on the European Court.
Exactly what does that mean?
Possibly.
And what does that mean, Jacob Rees? You say we cannot possibly. When you say we cannot, are you actually about to rebel on this? Are you about to jump up and down on this? Because that is not the position of the British government.
I'm not jumping up and down at all. I'm sitting down calmly and discussing this with you. But we cannot be a colony of the European Union for 2 years from 2019 to 2021, accepting new laws that are made without any say-so of the British people, Parliament or government. That is not leaving the European Union. That is being a vassal state of the European Union. And I'd be very surprised if that were government policy.
Well, the rebels have certainly got Theresa May on the run. They got her to back away from the final date. Do you think that actually she is being driven by people like Ken Clarke at the moment?
Mr Clarke is a very influential and distinguished figure within the Conservative Party and is as entitled to rebel as I was entitled to rebel when David Cameron was the Prime Minister. I think some of the criticism made of the strong pro-Europeans has been unfair. But do I think he's driving government policy? No. I think it's quite clear that we will leave, that the negotiations are moving towards that, and we will be out of the single market and out of the currency union, out of the customs union, which is tremendously important. But he is entitled and right to make his long-held and profoundly held views known.
Thank you very much indeed, Jacob Rees Mogg.